So I'll mention them again. We said the school system, criminal justice or juvenile justice system, youth serving organizations such as LCCC, the YMCA, the list can go on and on. Police department. So anybody have any thoughts?
I think the police department could do much better because I don't like, nor do I trust him. Like, it's kind of like they'll look at you different just by the color of your skin. Like, I could be walking, and I was with a couple of dudes, friends and stuff, and we was walking down on Cane Run, and they just kind of stopped and was like, where I think y'all going and stuff like that. And then we had went to Dollar General, and the lady was like, put your bag down, leave it up front. But then this whole little group of white girls walked in, and they had bags and everything. They could have put about anything in there. And I was thinking, oh, she ain't got to put her bag down. But especially the police, like, they definitely, I think, target black people more so than they do any other race.
So it's not just your thought, like you've experienced that from the police and from grocery stores. So and you bring, or whatever type of store it was. So you bring up a good point because the things that I named were just examples. But additionally, your life isn't in a bubble. Your life isn't just dealing with the school system, home, and church. You can go anywhere in the world you want to. So when you go in a grocery store, something can make you mad. So that's definitely something that we should, keep in our minds as well, as how can we work with grocery store owners to say, hey, we might want to talk about how we treat black youth when we come into our stores because they're seeing the disparity between how they're treated and how white people are treated when they come to our stores. So that's an excellent point. Thanks for bringing that up. Anybody else have experiences like that where you feel like because of your skin color or because of your gender that you've been discriminated against and it's triggered you to become angry? What about, who mentioned church? Somebody in here mentioned church. You mentioned church. All right, so can you talk to us a little more about what you think church should be doing? Well, for one, what does church do for you in helping you manage your anger, since you mentioned?
They will talk about the sin, they will pray about, they'll talk about sin. They'll say it's not a big deal. Well, I can't really explain what they talk about.
It's cool, you can do as best as you can.
They will say, basically they'll pray over me and say, help me.
And how do you feel about that process, the prayer, and it sounds like maybe mentorship? Is that something? So how do you feel about the prayer and the mentorship that you get from the churches?
I like it.
You like it? And what things that make you like it? How does it make you feel?
Makes me feel proud that people help me.
So it makes you feel proud that they're helping you, like they're giving you all this, they're giving Nene all this attention. So that's cool. So again, the fact that they're giving you positive attention, that makes you feel good. Cool. Does anybody else in here go to church? What's your experience like at church? Do you feel like the church targets youth specifically to help you, live a more positive life and a less angry life? You do? What are some of the things that they do specifically for the youth that get at those things?
Like, sometimes like when we're sitting on down, it's like sitting in prayer, like they ask us to pray like what's going on with our lives.
And so, is this specifically for the youth, or are you saying just in general? The youth. And are there any other youth targeted programs or initiatives at church that they have throughout the year to address certain issues that y'all may be having? Or not just issues, but to help you all with the strengths that you have? Do they do those types of things?
On Wednesdays we do go, the youth kids, we all have to go to church every Wednesday to talk with them about church.
Talk to them about what?
Like church things.
Such as, so what are some of the things y'all talk about?
Jesus.
So you talking about like Bible study? So is there anything, like any programs your church does that's specifically only for the youth? Just anything that they do?
Do you enjoy youth Bible study? What are some of the things that you feel like you get from it that help you? Or you may not feel like you get anything from it, you just like going, so.
I learned stuff that I didn't know.
Like what? Jesus.
Is we're gonna have each group have one or two or however many people you want from your group come up and talk to everybody about what you guys talked about, and then if you had recommendations for things that might be able to be done to address some of the issues that we talked about, then you can present those. So I think Logan and I are gonna present from group one. So if y'all wanna come up and it's all yours.
Talk about is ways that we can vent our anger, so we like don't go do something that we might regret later. So ways we say we can do that are we can just walk away from a problem, like how we talk about somebody just rushes right by you, like bumps you, like in the hallway or something like that. Don't try to retaliate anything like that. Just leave it alone, ignore it, and just go about your business. Another thing you can do is you can talk to somebody like your guidance counselor or a friend or anything like that. So if you feel like you're having a hard time dealing with the problem yourself, you can get help from somebody else. And another thing you can do is just, if you're like having an argument with your parents or something like that, just go do something you enjoy to take your mind off of it, or go talk to another friend, or just like write about it in a journal if you need to vent or something like that. And some of the solutions that we talked about for like fixing like the teen anger issues that are going on in our society right now are knowing about our history, like Black history classes. Like it's February, like just this past February was Black History Month, but I didn't really learn anything about Black history, and like knowing about like where we came from and our culture. It would be empowering for like a lot of people that feel like they're not capable, and hearing about like these success stories from other Black leaders in the past would make them feel like they can do whatever they feel like they can do or like want to do.
And then we said that we need to know our history. So like in schools, they don't really, like he said that in Black History Month, they really didn't say anything about any Black history. So we need to, so we said like in Black history in school should be the truth about the Black history, not just what is made up by past generations, I guess that's how you put it. And then we said we also need to have hard conversations on the topic. So you can't just sugarcoat, is it sugarcoat or sugarcoat?
It's sugarcoat, I think.
Sugarcoat everything that we have to stick to the straight facts, and we can't just say one thing happened when that really didn't happen, just to make everything seem good and wise and happy. Everything wasn't happy. And then we also said that we need to think about our policies in schools and our community. So the different policies, standard, we need, if we get pulled over, we need to cooperate. We can't retaliate and get in trouble, because then that doesn't help anything in any way. And then counselors of color, meaning we need more people who have the education and the experience to step up and take the steps to becoming something that's going to make a difference in the world, somebody that's going to affect somebody else.
In group 2, we discussed internal and external expectations and how to deal with them. And for internal expectations, we said you should look at failure differently. Instead of looking at it in a negative way, you should look at it in a positive way. And think about how you can approach what you're trying to achieve differently instead of like looking back at what you did wrong and down yourself. And for external expectations, we said that you should voice your pressures and talk to somebody about it so that they understand, or you can talk about it.
We also talked about what law enforcement and we as a people need to do. Grab the mic. We also talked about stereotypes and what law enforcement need to do. They need to stop jumping to conclusions that we up to no good all the time, and like, you know, stop like listening to stereotypes and all that. And we as a people need to stop perpetuating the stereotypes by like, you know, living by like what the white man gave us and stuff, like by like, you know, like the stereotypes they gave us in the past and stuff. I mean, stop perpetuating that, and then maybe they'll think of us differently if more of us try to succeed instead of, you know, staying out here doing nothing. We was also talking about like that we need to stay in school, you know, like prove the white man wrong and other people and our own people in general, so they can know like it's okay to, you know, be educated and all that. Yeah, you know, like graduating from college, hanging with the right people, not getting involved in gangs and all that.
And we also talked about teachers and parents, how some teachers would be two faces, like when our parents is like at a parent-teacher conference, they want to smile at them and act all different, but if we're like in school, they want to treat us a different way. And how like they, just because we're like new to a school, they want to act like we're like immature and things like that.
We also talked about parents, like how parents don't trust their child. Like when you try to ask your mama if you can go somewhere or something, and then they be like, no, you can't go because you're a girl, and boys always like to touch on girls and stuff. And we also talked about bullying. Bullying is not a good thing to do because some kids can commit suicide to themselves, and they can also get depressed about things and not want to go to school and get their schoolwork done.
And about the bullies, how we should like ask them why they bully, and we talk about why there's bullies at school and things like that, because they're probably like going through things at home, or like they got bullied once before. And that's all. Thank you.
What we talked about was how we can have fun in our community without being mean, without anger and stuff. And we also learned about how we can we can trust certain people that we know that we can that we can be honest to and tell our problems, and how there's some people that we can't trust and some we can trust, and how we have to have, as a youth, we have to have good listening skills.
We also talked about how people stereotype as being black people, like like people always think you're up to something because you're black, or the people you're with or by your gender. Yeah. And it's not right. And that's another reason why teens could be angry and peer pressure, trying to live up to expectations. And yeah, and that kind of stuff.
Another thing that we talked about was how like some communities are messed up and how we need to fix them. Like we want to know who our council people are so we can actually.
Nene, can you repeat that and say it louder? Because we can't hear you over here. Thank you.
We talked about how our communities are messed up and not right, and we want to know who our council people are so we can talk to them and tell them how we feel about things going on in our communities and how they look.
We also talked about how parents should like listen to when their kid has like a side of a story to tell, and like how the adults don't listen to like their side and they just like choose like what side that you're on, like how they should just listen to what you have to say.
Okay, good job. You came up with some really good information here. The point of gathering this information is for you guys to inform the stakeholders that are going to be at your community forum on the 28th. And so, I mean, as one last question before, you know, your food gets here and we break out, if there's one thing that you wanted those people, those community stakeholders, parents, teachers, educators, whoever's in the room, there's one thing that you wanted them to hear from you, or one thing that you wanted them to take away from that forum, what is it that you want them to hear? And then I want each of you to answer that. Just be loud, because you can pass it. I think
I mean, I guess I would say like I want them to know about like how we feel about the way people view like black people, like how they expect us to act a certain way and talk a certain way. Like we're not all like that, and we ourselves need to stop perpetuating that. But people always like trying to pin that stereotype on us. It does not help.
What I was gonna say, so I can't even follow up for real. I guess I want the cops to try to try to take things to, try to take some of these to heart, try to follow through on them instead of just forgetting about it as soon as it's over. And I want there to be more recreational things, so that we can get our youth that's out here, doing what they doing, off the streets and stuff, so they don't have time to be doing all that. So,
I think they should let the young people have a voice and not just brush everything off that we say. Like, they'll come off like they're listening to us, but it seems like nothing